Welcome back to Bed Talk. This week, what we are talking about is the newest software update, 2025 to 18. Yay! You're so excited to talk software.
I did notice that there was an update when I was driving the other day. Do I know what it was? No. Did the
No.
car drive? Yes.
Well, and that's why we're going to go over it, because I'm curious what your take is on the update, because everyone in the EV community, that's kind of hardcore EV nerds, they're super excited about it.
Okay.
And I'm going to guess that you could care less.
If it makes my life easier, that'll be nice. If there aren't any big things, then you're right. It's just another software update.
Yeah.
How many times does my iPhone update? And I'm like, you fixed a bug? I didn't even know there was a bug.
Oh my goodness. Well, how many times do I look at your phone and I'm like, what software update are you on? You haven't updated in like a year.
To be fair, I do feel like that was more my old iPhone, which I had gotten in 2020, which maybe it was just because I was running out of storage. There was a period of time where it was like, you can't take any more photos because you have too many.
Well, that's the one nice thing about vehicles is like there's no such thing as, well, your vehicle doesn't have enough storage.
That's good.
I mean, there eventually will get, aged out.
Oh, sure.
That'll take a while, I think. Especially for the Gen 2 vehicles. But so let's just quickly go over what is coming or what has already arrived in the latest software update. We have multi-factor drive.
Right, which we discussed last week.
We have the new Rivian Energy app.
Okay.
All right. We have charging improvements.
Ooh, okay.
And then we have some additional improvements which we can poke around at and see if there's anything that really just
strikes my fancy.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
So we talked about multi-factor authentication last week.
Mm-hmm.
There has been more rumblings online about this.
Okay.
Because you need service in order to get this.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
So if you go on an adventure where there's no service,
oh no.
How do you start your car if you have this enabled?
So, okay, when we're talking service, like, we're not talking I have T-Mobile, you have Verizon. We're just talking like any sort of 5G.
You're off the grid.
Oh no.
Like it has to push something to your phone, right?
Yeah.
Or here, let me even paint this picture. You go to the Grand Canyon. You're taking a picture, someone bumps your arm, and there goes your phone.
Oh my God. Oh no.
So how do you get in your car and start it?
Wait, why didn't they think about this?
Well, that's the question. Did they think about this? Because I know Wasim is he's very happy about this, and he thinks the world of it because it is another step in the right direction as far as security goes. Mm-hmm. But what I would have liked to see is also the pin to drive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So have the multi-factor authentication, but then also as the backup, have a pin to drive.
Yeah, there was I remember the glove box in the Tesla, you had a pin code to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pin to drive I can get more on board with. But wow, that's not great for the MFA that you need service.
So yeah, need service. Also, don't lose your phone or break your phone.
Yikes.
Yeah, I never planned on turning it on because that's kind of...
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not a remote woodsy kind of girl, so I feel like that part of it doesn't matter to me as much. But I feel like when we drive through some parts of Connecticut, we lose service. Like when we go to see your dad, that's woodsy.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's something they should look into.
My other thing is I believe that I'm the only one on our account that can turn it on.
You're the primary.
Because I'm the primary.
Okay.
But then my question is, if you were to get into the vehicle, because we haven't obviously tested this yet, mm-hmm. would it push a notification to me or would it push one to you?
Oh, that wouldn't be great because what if you're unavailable? What if you're at work and can't look at your phone?
And this could be a non-issue. I just have no idea.
Right, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Can you switch primary person on the vehicle after it's set up?
I don't think so.
Ooh.
So I don't know.
So yeah, if...
Maybe we'll have to test it just
yeah,
to
I was
see.
going to say if for some reason, we're just on a cruise. So what if you went on a cruise by yourself and didn't have cell service for a week, and I wanted to be primary on the car.
Yeah.
We can't do that. Maybe.
No, but I don't know why you would need
I don't
to be.
know. I'm just trying to think of an example. Let me have this, okay?
So yeah, that's first thing, multi-factor authentication. Many people,
I was right to have hesitations about it. I knew it.
I know. Now that people have chatted about it and I've had some time to think about it, I still think it's a great feature
Security
to
measure.
have. But pin to drive is like the, it's the easiest one to do. It's pretty foolproof.
Yeah, unless you forget your PIN.
Unless you forget your PIN, but everyone has the same PIN that they use for every single thing that's super secure anyways. But we'll see. All right. The new Rivian Energy app.
Okay.
So what if I told you that Rivian just updated, because there was already an Energy app.
Like a separate app aside from the Rivian app on our phone?
So it's in that, but it's more so on the screen in the vehicle.
Okay.
All right. So you'd swipe up, you see the little charging icon.
Sure.
And you'd press that. Basically, what this is doing is it's showing you the vehicle's energy consumption when you're driving or when you're parked.
Okay.
And then it's also showing you, like when you are charging, all the information about how fast you're charging.
Yeah.
How much money it's costing you, all that kind of stuff. So it's super hardcore EV nerd.
That's cool though.
Yeah, objective measures of the vehicle. Would you ever care to really look into that? As a normal driver, does that make you think, wow, I really need that in my vehicle?
Do I need it? No. Do I think it's interesting? Absolutely. I'll probably take a look at it from time to time. I think it's interesting to have that sort of data available as somebody who does care about the environment and, looking at like how my vehicle is running. I know you're supposed to charge your electronics to like a certain percent. Like we charge the R1S to 70% every night just to maintain battery health.
Yep.
You're supposed to do the same thing with your iPhone, but I charge it to 100%. Oops.
No, you're pretty good at this point with iPhone to charge to 100.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's interesting to have that knowledge. It's not something I'll check regularly.
Yeah.
And the charging information, we charge at our apartment, which we've talked about. So in terms of how much it's costing us, it doesn't.
Yeah,
aside from our normal,
it doesn't even show up when you
space.
Do that. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I don't think it's super necessary, but it's not something I'm like, ugh, gosh, why are we doing this? Yeah. MFA looking at you.
Yeah, I think it's cool to just look and see how aggressive you drive.
I don't think I want that information.
But like it's cool to see like, oh, well, I can improve like the efficiency of the battery if I don't do this, or if I drive this way to work, it's better.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see highway driving versus back road driving and the different energy levels there.
Yeah, and they made Gear Guard Gary like a little emoji in it.
Ugh,
and if you're driving like really hard, he'll be like, oh my goodness, your efficiency's terrible because you're such a fast driver.
Okay, well, don't come for me, Gear Guard Gary. Sometimes I like to live my life a quarter of a mile at a time,
Yeah, and sometimes I like to live mine like I'm just on a Sunday stroll.
Totally. Do you think you're going to look at it frequently, like daily?
I looked at it for the first like few drives. I don't think so because I already try to drive efficiently.
That's fair.
I think it'll be more interesting just to take a look at every once in a while and see like a long term, like how things are going. But other than that, no, I probably just keep it on the navigation screen.
I would imagine it would be more efficient to use the self-driving, right? Because then you're not constantly pressing an accelerator.
I don't know. I think it could depend. You're probably better off not being on self-drive as far as efficiency goes.
Okay.
But I'm sure it's pretty close. Maybe someone out there could do a test on it.
Yeah, see, that's information I would want to know, just out of sheer curiosity.
Yeah.
What is more efficient for long drives, self-driving or manual driving?
Yeah, I mean, Probably self-driving if you're on a highway without any traffic and it'll maintain a specific,
Right.
versus you just kind of pressing down the accelerator without
That's what I
realizing
was
it and then
thinking,
you're
yeah.
going over what you would.
Mm-hmm.
So I would assume, because I guess with how I do it, I typically set it to like 70 or 75 and just keep it that way.
Yeah, same. I would also be interested to know what is the max, or maybe not max, but what is the optimal efficient speed to drive?
Yeah. For a highway, you mean
Yeah,
specifically? I mean, the lower you go, but
totally.
obviously you
But
can't go too
I'm not
low.
trying to cause a car
Yeah,
accident
you're
by going
not trying to get
45.
pulled over.
Yeah, also that.
So I would say around here, it's tough to keep it at 65.
Listen, slow drivers are just as dangerous as fast
Oh,
drivers. I'm a firm
100%.
believer.
Sometimes it's more dangerous, I think.
Agreed.
But I would say like if you could keep it at 70, that's probably a good.
Yeah, that's my standard. If
Yeah.
any police officers are listening to this, I know that in the north 70 is not our speed limit, but
I mean,
it's 5 miles above what it should be.
Yeah, no one around. Like, I mean, for the most part, we're stuck in traffic, so we can't even go that
It's
fast.
so true. Yeah, it's like our average speed is 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, literally.
Takes you 35 minutes to go a mile and a half.
20 minutes to work is what it should take, and it usually takes me about an hour. So.
Ugh. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the new Rivian Energy app. I'm just, I don't think that anyone who's not super nerdy is going to be like super thrilled about it. But I think it's just an interesting way to see how driving can affect the battery efficiency.
Yeah, definitely.
Very good. Next up, we have charging improvements for Gen 1 and Gen 2.
Nice.
So would you like to hear those?
Sure, hit me.
Very good. Well, let me tell you.
Oh boy. There's a lot of excitement right now.
There's a lot of excitement, and it's probably not that exciting. But we have some faster DC fast charging performance and consistency for the max battery pack
What
of
do I have?
Gen 1.
Okay, I'm not Gen 1.
You're not Gen 1, but you do have a max battery pack for Gen 2.
Okay.
And going into that, all battery pack variants for Gen 2 have also seen improvements.
Okay.
So I think, not that we really go on many trips.
Not yet.
Not yet, but things are improving a little bit. I know a lot of people that have been doing a lot of trips have kind of commented on the slow rate of charging when you are at a fast charger.
How long? Like, is there a time number that you have?
I mean, typically 10 to 80%, 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
I mean, that definitely adds up, especially when you are comparing it to stopping at a gas station to just fill up.
So I guess it just depends, like, how far is your trip?
Right.
And how frequently are you doing that trip?
And also, how much time are you willing to carve out, right? Because if you are trying to get to somewhere and you're going to have to charge, you really have to factor that into your travel time. Otherwise, you're going to be late.
Yeah, you need to make sure that is factored in. And when you do put it in like the Rivian app, it does factor that in.
No, totally. But if we are driving, let's say, to New York for a Broadway show at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
I think for us to New York, it's like 4 hours-ish if there's no traffic, which we all know there's traffic.
Yep.
But you would say, okay, well, let's leave at 9 a.m. It's like, no. If we're going to have to charge, we are leaving at 8 a.m.
Potentially, yeah.
But if you don't think about that until you're in the car leaving, you're already too late.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit more of a thought process that you have to put into travel sometimes.
But you're saying it's now faster with fast charging?
Yeah, they've definitely increased it.
Okay, that's good. Is there an additional fee because of it? Like, is charging more expensive now?
No, I mean, charging is kind of expensive for like fast chargers in general.
Sure.
You really get the most benefit when you're charging at home. So it's pretty similar to gas in that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But No, yeah, it's just like this is something that they did to the battery through software that allows for them to get more out of it.
Okay.
So like it's just an improvement overall.
So I have a max pack battery in my Gen 2. What do you have in your Gen 1?
I have a large pack in my Gen 1.
How do the two differ?
Just different sizes. So
That's it.
like yeah, so the actual battery pack itself is the same size,
Okay.
but yours is filled all the way with batteries and mine has like a tiny section that is not in it.
Are there pros and cons to the different battery sizes?
I mean, obviously bigger battery, more
Holds
charge.
more charge. Okay.
Yeah. Bigger battery, heavier.
Heavier vehicle overall then. Okay.
But
is there a price difference between the batteries?
yeah, there's a
Okay.
price difference. Yep. That's kind of how they get you with like the, you know, how like the Apple ladder.
Oh, yeah, like
Yeah.
the 16 gig versus the 32
Yeah,
gig.
they're like, oh, just bump it up. And,
Okay.
you know, you only have to pay another $5,000.
Listen, sometimes it's worth it. I mean, if you are traveling that much, a bigger battery with more charge and more miles probably makes more sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Well, depending.
Okay.
Yeah. There's so many, like, charging is so hard to. Charging compared to like gas is very hard to compare because if someone asked me like, well, how many miles will you get in, you know, from 10% to 80%? Depending on the charger, depending on the vehicle, that could be a totally different number. So you can't scale it linearly.
I remember when we started dating and I was driving the Kia Forte, your dad asked me how many miles it got. And I was like, I don't know. I think it's like 400 when I fill up my tank. He's like, that's not what I'm asking. It's miles per gallon. And I was like, I have no idea. And he was like, okay, so you know nothing about your car. And I was like, guess not. This relationship's over. I like distinctly remember that. So now hearing you say like charging is subjective and you wouldn't really know how to tell someone how many miles it gets between 10 and 80%. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not that dumb. Like charging is again subjective. Gas mileage. We were just talking earlier about like defensive driving on the highway. If you're driving faster, if you have a lead foot, like you're gonna burn through it a lot more.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say it's subjective though. It's still objective, but there's so many different variables that could be affecting how many miles you're getting into the battery pack, because every charger has different kilowatt limits, right?
But like, does every supercharger have the same kilowatt limit?
Nope.
Why?
Because with the way that technology is working, like they're able to do more and more and more.
So would a supercharger in Boston be better than a supercharger in North Dakota?
No.
Okay.
No, there's just different levels.
Gotcha. I mean, I guess it's kind of like gas stations have different pricing. I don't know.
No.
Okay, awesome.
So like if you go to, so say you go to the Tesla supercharger that's near us, right? And there were 3 different stalls. And this is not the case, but let's say there were 3 different stalls. One of them was 50 kilowatts, one was 150 kilowatts, and one was 300 kilowatts.
This is starting to sound like a math problem. I'm already disinterested.
It kind of is.
Oh no.
So kilowatt is like it's the speed of transfer of energy.
Now we're in physics. This is my nightmare situation.
This is the biggest issue with electric vehicles. It's like for most of the population, it just needs to work.
Totally. But right now, I feel like I'm about to be sitting at a kitchen table with my father as he tries to explain to me a math problem that he understands and I don't, and I start crying.
So basically, the higher kilowatt, the faster your battery can charge.
Makes sense. Easy.
Like that's the biggest thing.
Okay.
So when you go to a charger, you basically want the fastest that you can get, and that's going to fill up your battery the quickest.
Makes sense.
But there's a caveat.
Of course.
Of course there is. Because depending on your vehicle, you can be limited to a specific kilowatt.
Like when you plug your hairdryer in Europe versus America?
Sure.
Like, you can't use a certain outlet.
So, like, you can use the outlet,
but it'll blow the fuse.
But it can only take in, let's say, like, you have a vehicle that can only take 150 kilowatts.
Okay.
But if you go to a 350 kilowatt,
you're still limited to 150.
You're still limited to 150.
Yeah.
So that's probably the most difficult part of this whole thing.
So how do I know which kilowatt intake my car has, and how do I know what the charging station has?
So in the vehicle that you have, it's peaking at like around 200 to 220 kilowatts. You just have to learn that from like the dealership that you get the vehicle from. They should be educating you on that piece. As far as the location that you're going to and what stall you're going to go to, it should tell you in like the app when you're plugging it in. So that's why it's really good to have good integrated systems with your vehicle and and like the entire charging network, so it brings you to the correct place that has the correct stall.
But why? Like, is there the possibility that one charging location has different stall, like, kilowatts?
Correct. So, and if it does, it should be labeled.
Do you know where on the stall it would be labeled?
It's so variable, like, you know, depending on the type of charger, all that kind of stuff. But if there is like a screen there, it should also tell you. So this is where it gets tricky because a lot of people just don't know.
No, yeah, I just pull into a stall.
So like if I saw like a Chevy Bolt like on a 350 kilowatt charger,
I wouldn't even know what a Chevy Bolt looks like.
But you're just like, you're taking up space where someone could be charging faster.
Hypothetically, does every Gen 2 Max Pack R1S have the same charging capability?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it varies based on the vehicle, the battery pack, and then also the stall you're at the charging location.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I don't feel like many people pay attention to that. I mean, it's, again, equated to a gas station. If I need gas, I'm just going to a gas station. The 10 cents for the one down the road isn't, you know, I'm not necessarily factoring that in. So like, I'm just going to pull into a stall. I'm not looking at the charging, but maybe I should be.
Yeah. I mean, with your vehicle, you shouldn't really have to worry.
Well, no, again, we have charging here, so lucky.
Yeah, exactly. And then whenever we travel, typically we're together.
Yes.
But if you do go somewhere, if you go to a Tesla supercharger, you should be pretty all set.
I mean, every time I've gone to a charger without you, I call you anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I can always help. But maybe, that's going to be one of the tougher things. I'm so happy that we were able to talk about that. That's all I got for today.
I thought you said there were more random improvements. You wanted to see if any piqued my interest.
Very good. Well, let's move on to some of the additional improvements.
It's a grab bag.
It's a grab bag. We'll see what we like the best out of it. But on the vehicle's like driver display in front of you, so the visualizations of other vehicles are going to be more detailed.
Yes, I noticed this the other day.
I
did. And I want to give the caveat that I don't love having a screen behind the Rivian wheel specifically. And the reason being, I think it's the configuration of my size versus the large vehicle. I can't see the screen in its entirety.
Gotcha.
Like, my wheel blocks it. And that's probably a very user-specific thing, because I don't think you experience that.
I experience like the top portion of it blocked, and then I'll like peek my head down a little bit to see it. So
I often find that I don't look at that screen because I can't see a lot of it. Gotcha. Especially if I'm turning the wheel, it blocks it almost entirely. But I did notice when I was driving the other day that they are definitely more pronounced in terms of both the vehicles themselves and the lines on the road. So if I got close to a line, it like very distinctly was now like yellow and gray, like, don't swerve. So that was nice. I mean, it definitely helps you pay attention if you're not already, which you should be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, it's what I think that they're doing is they're trying to set themselves up for when like the
fully
yeah,
autonomous.
when the fully self-driving stuff starts coming out.
Makes sense.
Because now they're showing like a greater number of vehicles across 5 lanes in different situations, like cross traffic, oncoming traffic, or parked vehicles. And that's Gen 2 specific.
There was a cyclist who was, I didn't even see them. They were in my blind spot. And I was in a line of traffic, like waiting for a light to turn green. So there was a car in front of me, a car behind me, and I was looking at that screen actually, and all of a sudden there was a cyclist, and I was like, where is this person? And 60 seconds later, they came past me on my right-hand side, and I was like, okay.
Wow.
Because I will say, sometimes Tesla used to tell me that there were people behind me and there never were. So I don't know what ghosts they were picking up, but there was no one there. But there was genuinely a person here this time. So good job, Rivian.
Wow, I'm impressed by that you actually saw that. That's
me too.
Good. Very cool. The other thing that they're improving is just responsiveness of that Go chime for Gen 1 vehicles.
Only Gen 1 has a Go chime?
No, Gen 2 has it, but Gen 1 I think has been having more issues with it not being super responsive.
Are you talking the Go chime where if you're at a red light and the car in front of you goes?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't, like the last time I tried to do it in the truck, it just didn't happen. Like I just stayed paused and nothing dinged or anything.
I personally preferred Tesla's chime because it was if the light turned green.
Yeah.
So if you were the front car, then you knew.
Yeah, I think that this was a way for them to push it out quicker so that people would be like, oh, it is there. But it's been confirmed that it's just a matter of time before they get the light working.
I remember you didn't even know what that chime was. You were like Ross with the fajitas and friends. Like, I don't even know what that ding was for. And I was like, I think it's the light.
In the Tesla at first, I was like, what is that? And then I was like, I think it does go with the light after you saw that.
It's a cool feature for both of the vehicles to have it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely pretty, I think it's useful. I mean, I think it makes people think that they can text or do something on their phone more.
Yeah.
Which I don't love. But hey, if I don't have to beep at them to go,
right.
Great.
Right.
Let's see, some other things, just stability, responsiveness of the infotainment system.
Sure.
Improved performance over media apps. I know that the Apple Music app still has a lot of bugs.
I don't love the Apple Music app, and I don't know if it's a service thing, like based on where I'm driving or if we're in the parking garage, but I really feel like there is a lag time when I switch songs or if I start playing a song. It doesn't always do it immediately. I have to wait a few seconds, which seems like a really dumb thing to have a complaint about. But if I was just using Bluetooth on my phone, it was automatically playing. And now I'm like, well, this is ruining my DJ vibe when I have to wait.
Yeah, there's so many bugs in it. They need to fix it out. Honestly, I've been using the Bluetooth app probably like 50% of the time. I think it's actually nice to use that over the infotainment screen because if you had a group of people in the vehicle that all had Apple Music.
With the same music taste, very important.
With the same music taste. You don't want to do this with everyone, but you could do the Apple Share Play thing where anyone can add to the current playlist that's running.
Yeah, it's nice you can queue up songs next with like just doing it through Bluetooth.
Let's see, what else? Optimize low voltage battery management to improve long-term battery health in Gen 2 vehicles.
Sounds good.
Sounds good for us, yeah. Longer term battery health, we're happy.
Happy wife, happy life.
And it fixed a rare issue that caused camera views and recorded videos to be unavailable in the Gear Guard app for Gen 2 vehicles, which is what we had.
What do you mean camera views unavailable?
So our Gear Guard security on your vehicle, when you open that app, prior to this, it was just like errors. Like it didn't show any of the videos.
Awesome.
So now it works.
Great.
So we are super happy with that.
So I hear you say it's a rare bug, but I don't love that because that means it's at least happening to some people. So hopefully nothing bad happened to their cars while that was a problem.
Hopefully not.
Yikes.
So yeah, we have to look at that and see like if the videos that it had captured are now there or if they're gone.
Does it store videos for a certain period of time before like deleting them?
I believe so.
That makes sense. Because I feel like then we talked earlier about storage. So that would take up storage, presumably, if you just stored videos on videos. I mean, my mother deletes her text messages every night.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
The ones that you actually capture, like by honking the horn, or if like an accident happened, those wouldn't get deleted.
I would hope not, yeah.
But the like motion cam ones of people just walking past your car, like those will get deleted after a certain amount of time.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so those are all the additional improvements for this update.
Okay.
It's probably one of the biggest updates that we've had in a while.
Yeah?
So...
Well, mid-year.
Yeah, mid-year. That's a good thing. I'm trying to think, are we waiting on anything big as far as updates go? I know everyone still wants, like, the text messaging.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that will come with time. They just did the energy app. I think there's going to be a lot more improvements for the self-driving stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we'll see more of that.
Ooh, yesterday when I was driving, there was an area of the highway that I was on that we drive pretty frequently. It's not a bridge. It's not a tunnel.
Yep.
It is clearly marked highway. And all of a sudden it was like, you need to turn driver assist off, like self-driving right now.
Yep.
There was no construction. I don't know the rhyme or reason behind it. It's never done that in that area. But I turned it off and I don't know if it was just...
But you've been able to do it in that area before?
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes onto the highway for us.
Okay. Were the lanes present? Like you could see the lines?
Yeah, like clearly painted. It's, you know, when you get on the ramp up here by the Target.
Yeah.
And then you go like the area where the cop usually sits on the green, like 2 exits down. It was right around there.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it could have just been for some reason that day it just didn't want to work.
I don't know. But it was very loudly alerting me that I should turn it off.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so that's something I have not experienced yet. So I don't know if that's an update to self-driving that they've improved or I just haven't experienced it. But
yeah, it's always been there. It kind of yells at you and it's like, hurry, take control of the wheel.
Yeah, well, typically it says take control of the vehicle. This one was just like, turn driver assist off immediately. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't do it, it'll just turn it off for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's interesting. I think if I look and see, as far as this update goes, 90% of eligible vehicles have been flagged for it, and 82% of people have installed it thanks to Rivian Roamer.
Ooh, that's cool that you can see that.
Yeah. Thank you, Chad. Very good.
Oh, that's his website he created.
Yeah.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah, so we have a lot of information on how many people have gotten it.
Is that public info?
It is now.
No, I mean like, that's not just because it's in your chat.
Public.
Right?
Yeah,
okay. I was like, are you allowed to say these things?
Yeah, this is on his website.
Got it.
But yeah, is there anything else that you want to talk about? I think that kind of wraps it up. This is a quicker episode this week, but I just wanted to touch upon everything that happened with the new update.
I have an update that I want to request.
Oh, okay.
I think Gear Guard Gary should come with seasonal outfits. So in the summer, he should be in swim trunks and maybe like a little sun visor and sunglasses. And then in the fall, give him like a nice flannel and maybe a beanie.
Are you talking like where would
when he's on the screen?
Oh, okay.
It's fun.
Yeah, I agree. I love that.
Give him a little puffer jacket in the winter.
It can't be that hard to add that in, right?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't do graphics or anything.
I don't code.
I have learned a little bit of coding at work, but
I think that would be a great idea. Seasonal outfits.
Yeah, fun.
Because we already see him in some Halloween costumes.
The vampire costume.
Yeah, vampire costume. I think he was a ghost one of the years.
Has he been Santa?
Was he Santa this year?
I don't know. Let's be inclusive though. Give him a menorah.
You know, make him Cupid for Valentine's Day.
Oh, cute. Well, Yeah. I was going to say cute, but then I'm like, doesn't Cupid wear a diaper? But also that's kind of like baby New Year. So maybe not that one. You can give him like a party hat. But yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
That would be really fun. I would love for them to just continue to have more fun with Gear Guard Gary.
It's whimsical.
It's super whimsical. It keeps it light. And I love the new emojis that are in the Energy app. And then if you touch him, he does like different emotes and everything.
It's good marketing.
It's such good marketing. We've gotta make a video of us, like, in The Office when they do their own marketing video. Huh?
Isn't that Ryan's marketing?
No,
Woof?
that's his social media thing.
Oh, that's what I thought we were talking about.
No, I'm talking about the video that they make and
the electric. No.
No. Oh my goodness. No, all right, never mind. We're gonna cut.
Which one are we talking about?
The one where it's like paper, and then they like throw paper, and it follows it. No. Okay.
Nope.
We'll watch it.
I don't think we have to.
Yeah.
We can watch that one clip.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to you.
You make it sound like we haven't talked all day.
We have.
We have.
Yeah. But yeah, so this was just a quick episode that I wanted to get your take on some things. And next week, I guess we'll figure out what we're going to talk about.
Well, listen, we made it to episode 5, which last week we said a lot of podcasts don't make it past episode 4, right?
Yeah.
So we're on 5.
We're on 5. Thank you for listening to us because it can only get better.
That's the hope, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thanks for getting back into bed with us.
And remember, adventure is always out there.